And we realized that we need to draw the attention of the president close to them. And in that time we mobilized the symposium. This symposium was mobilized last year, but due to various issues, it didn't go as we planned. So in May, we met the president. We requested for the same thing. He said he will come. We met him again in June 3 times. He said he will come. So in July, because I'm the chairperson of all coordinators of ONC in the country, I met him on behalf of ONC. But when I presented our issues, he was happy. And at that time, I requested for the Bugisu Symposium, where he accepted and he confirmed. They gave us a letter, we came with it as ONC coordinators. So the president is going to come in Bugisu on 12th of September 2024. But how is this planned? It now comes back to us. And that is the key reason why we are here. Today we said we have to invite everyone. Because even if the symposium is specifically for the young people, but our elders, you own us, you own our resolutions, you are supposed to help us to make this a success. There is nothing a youth can do without the guidance of the elders, without the input of the elders. And we can't hold an activity in Bari or in the Bugisu sub-region without your input, the religious leaders, the cultural institution, the security organs, the NRM part itself. So we ensure that we meet as a team. We meet as Masaba, as well wishers of Masaba, and we plan for this activity. So in this preparation, today we are here to discuss how we are welcoming the president, to discuss what are the inputs the young people have to put, but as the young people are putting their inputs, or what they are going to discuss with the president in the symposium, there is an agenda of Bugisu. Bugisu is bigger than we the young people. Yes, we have our agendas, but our elders have what we use, what we need. So it's the big reason why we have met us, all of us. So today, it's a privilege day for the youth, but also it's a privilege to us that our elders are owning us. So this meeting is for us all. So we are here to discuss, to brainstorm, to share ideas, to ensure that the symposium for Bugisu youth is going to be productive. So in the preparation, the ONC office lobbied for the symposium. But what is our role was to bring it to our region, and the whole team and the whole of us we are to hold it and ensure it is successful.
This interaction will probably, that's like a disclaimer, probably would have interactive formats like workshops, discussions. Those activities promote participation. Total participation, including the deepest from Namisindwa at the border, the deepest from Sironko in Masaba, from Blambuli, from where? I'm looking at the edges, Bududa, from the edges, an interaction that will have all these youth. When we have done that, we shall have a symposium. That may be few words, but very pregnant. I am praying that we have a spirit that even when you're bisected, inside of you, you have others on your mind. Even when you are ambushed in sleep, you have others to think about. That will be a symposium for Bugisu youth. Patterns and principles have now gone back. All of us here have seen how the president works. I'm standing on a neutral ground. You've seen how the president works. the patterns and principles. When I had a chance to speak to the youth who are in Bugisu, in Sironko, the other time, I said these things to them. If you feel it is a repetition, probably it's to affirm what I said. Patterns and principles. We have seen how the president works. Today he talks about Musevenomics. Do we have an idea of those patterns and principles as youth here? Because the other thing I was reading here, and they have talked about a typical youth in Bugisu sub-region. 1, lack of access to basic and quality health services, including nutrition. A youth, we are talking about nutrition. Lack of access to quality schooling due to lack of scholastic materials, maybe. Food and school requirements, sanitary pads, many girls out, those things. Lack of skills and capacity building for income generation or employment, even with YLP already in place, with PDM to date, MYOGA. Lack of skills, okay, that's for generation of employment. I'm picking a few things. Lack of infrastructure and support systems, e.g. water production, supporting families. Some of us have been orphans, I don't know from what age. Poor attitude to life. Poor attitude to life. The attitude that we have sometimes, those who read the Bible know that what fills your heart is what comes out of you. So attitude is a choice. You choose. There are people here who are saying, oh, I love listening to that woman, and another says, Bananga kusina ovonayo. So it is a choice. Poor attitude due to lack of values. Poor attitude due to life. Poor attitudes to life due to lack of values and morals, e.g. begging from leaders. I don't know who wrote this thing. Kitaka kwikara kugani kubeko n'ibintu yagana kuyire mu bantu bandi mapulire iyo byaka kuba mukuli nti. Do we understand that? There are some things that should not go out from here. Poor attitudes to life due to lack of values and morals, e.g. begging from leaders instead of having self-drive and inspiration. Lack of values and morals. Who is going to teach us values and morals? Senior needs. Lack of access and control to productive assets, e.g. land, capital, and entrepreneurship. Are we going to ask the president for these things? Are we going to ask?
We may have the energy, but we need you to help us package this. A one-off knockout. That when it is done, every person in Bugisu will benefit from this symposium. We need your guidance such that we can package all the ideas that we have and the youths are having. That when we present them to His Excellency, he will be compelled and have no other option but to say, this tick, this tick. Otherwise, there are discussions, as you said, mine, that are not for this or for public. Some of them, we had a meeting with the team, the members of parliament and the team. There are issues we discussed that we may not discuss now. Maybe we shall update you. But there are some guidances we gave on how to approach. But my request is you help us refine this front, that when His Excellency receives the memorandum, he will definitely do the things that we are requesting for. Otherwise, I want to thank you for your guidance. We are all youth, said by one man called Caleb. Even after many years, he was a youth. And together, we will push the agenda of Bugisu. Thank you so much.
Nasimile Baba, I thought it wise to say something before I take off. Nengana ye, kuza kuitaga sini jikuko li Symposium. Me and you are going to bring what we have to ensure this function is a success. Me and you will bring what we have. But there are some blessings that are tapped that way. You bring.
I think up to district level, the purpose of not input here is actually over for kids and address practices in the time. It would be very embarrassing for us who have the opportunity to find who can show me in our book. Then the whole thing of our got she gain the recipe of cat. And you realize the few things can actually be handled if the way the power of women is. First of all, Kastabolo Babali Kurele, Meza, even the BS Kunyakwa, Quagata, BS Kunyakwasa. I think even papers can be small because we have so many things. I think the fifth, you will think about the thing and then also our senior leaders. But they have done a lot to get out of this. But you also be embarrassing and the fact that went to the table in our focus of the react and more disorganized than them. The other day, we have a chance, quite a sorority. I think it was very provocative in the Baptist Sorority University. Will youth council about how they have built Sorority University? Now we go on something of that kind. So how I wish, yes, we can ask so many things. We never know the first exam. The one banking and the fake about our work and on so many things you can ask. The president, the issue of the university. Because the future is education.
Previous meetings we met. I'm grateful that in our tours, most of the district leadership of the young people agreed to work together, and they came up with a different agenda and views in which we are going to share with you that for the first time, our interest of ONC coordinators to the Wama server that we speak one language, it has happened. And this time around, we were not talking politics. Either we support who or who. We discussed socio-economic transformation. And we agreed. The leadership is there. The chairpersons, all of them are here. They came up with a very good initiative. They discussed ideas. They said for them, they know it's high time to benefit from the president. Because he's coming. He has never come specifically to meet the younger people. So for them, they discussed that. They came up with what they call the Bugisu Youth Cooperative, which brings all the young people together. And this cooperative, it is represented by district. Each district is represented in the board setting. And they came up with an idea of ensuring that it is operational and subscription per member, not leaders. Every youth in Bugisu sub-region to subscribe. And we lobby through it. The key issue why we wanted the cooperative was coming up with something which brings all of us together. That in time we can call the youth in Bugisu Atibale SES through the umbrella of the cooperative and they come. So they came up with that idea and the different things they came up with in which we shall discuss because they are all here. But I want us to brainstorm on what the key issue the young people talked about, which has brought them so much together, and it's a component in the symposium, according to the concept we have. Because the symposium had a concept, which we were pushing from Zay to come, and he bought it. It was all about mindset change, patriotism, wealth creation, and skilling. These are the things we discussed. The other people also brainstormed on their appreciation of the Mbale Industrial Hub. But they highlighted areas they feel it needs to be given another input. They said the enrollment number is less because it is 240 per intake. But they say if His Excellency can take this number to 500, it will be good. Because whoever goes there doesn't come back when it's the same. They pushed for that. But they said one of the key challenges in the hub is that when they go, they come back empty-handed with the skill but without the starting capital. So it becomes a big challenge for them. If they could come out with equipments in relation to their skills, it could be good. So this also came to our notice and we noticed that let's and we need also to brainstorm on it. And they also say there is a big challenge in the industrial hub because the industrial hub is supposed to benefit the region, the sub-region. But what really disturbs them, me inclusive, is that we are supposed to promote Google by Uganda, building Uganda. But all contracts, even to the level of firework, is given, I think that contract is given to state house officials. And I know someone from Desu. So they say really, apart from the skill, what is our interest in the hub?
Ariteni kwa kanika kushindu sherisu ngesite kwa mkurupuka na president akuwe nekari kumserisu ku yo ikakuta road mumanya shibira anawe ko banayo urukusubira kuri kwiswajo kutakorako a youth center for the youth of Bugisu. Kisi kweta kwa mitirango bafuka kwaba ni issue zese kukanika bafuka kwa makuru kwiswa lyenelyo utakorake kachari ko tunafenga sete na kubonange kachari itsoko lele then kwa makuru shekabi utakorako shekata kusaba muzei akorera ko factory ya yani kwa kisenga basically iye gukora ibintu ngakara vaccine ibindi because kuzingira ko police sasa ininga kwa makuringa bakwele factory iye gukora nayo katugura kusi concrete kara vaccine ibindi for the region sinyara shapu yetu.
We don't have anything to begin with, so me I'm requesting for equipment so that we can empower those youth who have gone through those skills. And it is the same thing which I was also requested by Garage. Student comes with skills, but they are not empowered. It's my input. That's what I wanted to add.
That is how we are doing
I just wanted to make a join up for issuing EA comparative to unpack it such that my neighbors will go to the same vegetable. In comparative, we know it is multi-purpose. It's a multi-purpose comparative. Yes.
The issue of cooperative has been brought
In
by
principle.
all districts.
The next,
What we are
I will just add something small to.
It has been bought already. So that addition will be part of the generations on the memo.
Okay, so my idea for youth center of excellence, which will also which will host the cooperative. We are thinking that you see that we have the question of mindset amongst the youth. This is also because of mindset. So I will remember for youth center, for leadership and mindset leadership academy. Even part. Yes. Yes. Then we have the innovation hub because the world is now.
Chairman.
Yes.
Let's go one thing at a time. The issue is the 10 acres. Then those will be the unfold.
Akira, hakira kurukurira kuri police offices ta ni wakandi lezi mshe university baso libefe basome kuba basani befe bafa bukali balile kama pesa akafuso msalaba mkambana ta tu hii university kene kwa timilimo indirectly and indirectly isi nishabe sababa masabo kushangani finally can possible president for the placements he has given abana bamasaba so far. Ngapapa eta, when you meet a king, when you are in court, you make your prayers. Kamu 7 more placements see. Baso uliwefe banko nilanga baya hajali manamo kuli kimili mwana.
Kunyo elezera baso ulibasanga kukaya kuishia comparative. Are further different what? Further different opinion about the what? District giving different opinion. Let's say we put this out. Tika pesa nani kuza kweza kama second pia. Nokuma akasa kuisha kubinji. Bana kutenga beso na kupenaji. Leo kuna mbulu kupenaji. Leo mana kupenaji. Kuna za kudraw ngo msako la confused. Because saa tu msako ndio yaga na kukora chino kuagalilisa. Mwagalilise kumsomesha kwa chino. Alinga ni kuri issue cooperative. We are aware of it. The district in Chelsea, Gangu. Mbele sentence and kulombe capitalization of the cooperative. Na kwa mbele capitalization of the cooperative, then because we said we are going to have primary society.
Now you cannot repeat.
Well, I will just explain my point.
We have had all over the cooperative.
Right. Issue yes, scholarship. Why you take it away?
Scholarship.
Yes.
Cooperative. Unanimous?
Yes.
Some of you have said that we include a pledge of 5 million. Mbale City proposed for 10 acres of land. Do we buy that?
Yes.
Yes. How many buy that? Remember, we should make this memo as brief as 10 acres stick? University? Reminder, or anything will remind. Equipment for the youth from the Industrial Skilling Center. Request for youth to go for Chankwanzi retreat. Some of you say that there is a problem with the leadership of the cooperative.
It is interview.
The interim. Bantu bama bali barambe. Who is the chairperson of the cooperative? The chairperson of the cooperative? Who is the treasurer? Those are the key positions. If I want to know, the people will be in charge of their money. Secretary, chairperson, and treasurer. Isn't so? Who is the secretary of the cooperative? Now, where are other members? Members of the cooperative? Huh? Let me have order. Who?
Rachel, Speaker, and Jennifer from Bramble.
How about the Dory? Yes.
I want to tell people come in front, number one. Number two, this president is obsessed with women, gender sensitivity. And the affirmative action came just because of women. Now, this issue I'm proposing, for me, I'm not interested in who is who. I'm interested in how many women are on the committee and which positions are appointed. Not just being there, which positions.
There is one lady missing. Yeah, she's the one.
These are the leaders. Wait. Hello. This is the executive members. Do you agree with them?
Yes.
You agree with them? Yes. Executive order. Operative order. Refusal order. President order. Symposium order. Finally, some of you propose the high fast.
They fall under cooperative.
They fall under cooperative. Isn't so? So, the issues I've read here are the ones going to form the memo that you will present to the president, including the other item of placements. Isn't so? So, let me expect that all of us here are going to own this document. The Secretariat of ONC has taken note. So I think now we are moving together as a team, as a group. You remember our items? We are now going to listen from our MPs.
Amanislati, that could have been something of yesterday. By now we could be running, but we are still crawling, we are still dead, and yet we could have been ahead. Context, that means that we have to work harder in issues relating to mindset change. Basari could disagree in Ghanaian, but why did we disagree? Umuzungalomati, once bitten, twice shy. We haven't trusted the people in the positions, the chairman, cooperative, the treasurer, they are speaking for us, but at the end of the day, we realize that they are not speaking for the group, but they are speaking for themselves. That is what I believe caused challenges. Once beaten, twice shy. But now that we have recollected ourselves, we now need to rebuild the trust in each other. We rebuild the trust amongst ourselves as a committee, as the cooperatives, and as the youth leaders. Let's learn to trust one another. Because when we don't trust one another, we shall not really go ahead.
Handle anything. Munyama halaumwa la lihumbuka malo mamurari kutsa kukola tsindeke. Mbao shihasata nenga under the cooperative. The issue is ifefe kuli nikusomesa youth sabandi bali nyumayo kwaba bolera bula iwe cooperative kwakira bakikana ba subscribing. Otherwise hulima hubaya hukola bibindu byose kunyala kwa bikolera under the cooperative, and that is a very brilliant idea.
Of your maturity. I'm carefully selecting that word because I saw the young men reasoning, and you see, Chris, you have a team. You have a team. The arguments which are here in the morning were not serious items, but it was a question of discussing it further. so kane sime nayo ona hori mayara sisi wa kurera twera na nyumwanya la kuihali hapo kesawe because aba kwasi ilanga nga si chakula kwasi lekelesi aba shero karuna lengo hapo chafare kelesi atinge le hatio sia hotel all of us are thinking in the same way, but the only thing is struggling to move forward. So singana kwa ilangu ndio yakukane kwa obvious.
I want to acknowledge one thing, only one thing, that I thought it was only me who knows that Bamas are very brilliant people. I was so happy when the minister brought it up, much as some other things came in. But I was very happy. Bamas, you have people who are so learning. And I want to tell you, respect Bama Sava lady or man in her or his capacity. It is the only region where you have surgeons who have never been medical doctors. If you think it is easy, you go and try. So for me, I called upon you to use your leaders and respect them. If you don't know, you have leadership. And this evening we can all testify that we knew where we were going, but how we wanted to reach there is a problem. It's a problem, and now you have been. So accept that, and always let's listen to our leaders. You have good leaders. I thank you.
The security of the city is going to be tightened ahead of our youth leaders are going to be protected during that day. But we also have the ghetto youth whom I want you to incorporate in your decisions and discussions. So ingana huile habino hulanga chairperson wa interreligious council alakanheyo amale kaleo rusano
sisi ngajile hukane hata ngala kusima in many meetings religious leaders are told to pray a short prayer at the seat, but for you to tell me to talk, allow me tell my counterpart to say hello to you before I close.
Baba bani mamai ni protocol iliwo najirindire bulayi mufujiri semba chese kweti salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, I think we need to thank the Almighty Allah who has made it for us. Mubone tempers zivero mudikini bere konyara wamanyoti kunyakora conclusion no chihada. We thank Allah by saying alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Kabiri, I think in brief we need to thank omanyino omuganda agamba nti etasiima ebulagiwa naye bannaye tulina okusiima ko President Museveni olw'okwongera omwana ono asumire ekisaanyi. Kulwose ni ku Intelligence Council of Uganda meno gose wati Dr. Wandega, Senior Assistant Mufti in charge of Eastern at regional card. Bitangirira bisinza kwama Bukedi sub-region, Bugisu sub-region, Sebei sub-region, Karamoja sub-region and Teso sub-region. Musakuru no China, musakuru ne mugana nabi aipo omuntu udeka lidote mbolechi. Kali naye mumupere kwa asante sana. Simuko musakuru RPC yo turakuba nebi biseera bigali ate omugumiikiriza naabi. Thank you for your patience. Thank you very much. Ne mayi commissioner fujirise esiime k'omwana wose w'ekiina Christopher for being creative. Nikuza hanze y'ekiina wafuna basaale mu busaale bw'ekiina buno wakuleetera omusaakulu ate ife mu region yose eno kiina buli nakukuupiisise buli wiiki mba n'omusaakulu. Naye asante sana yo Chris wanyala n'abo benigumoyo. Ate maayi commissioner uli ni brains kuba Chris nga alikuganika ubona maturity munganika ye ni the way he handles kubanga tempers zibera ningire sa respondingire ni bale bose besiro beba bati fufe kubere ni kizibu ne since you have educated number so since you have educated us so chesu kuwera anga agitu was a lecture. Thank you very much. May Allah uphold you and your family. Kulu bisera bisinga kuba bigalinga kwabone kuti zisonga zefe zikulu nenga kazineza zose memoda kuzigabanana mubona ko isonga yo muguga imusonga yo muguga yekutabulaga hano kina nabi nefe mu ko sadiza ko agigabana kuti katano mufuti uwenga wamalire player ugunye ko kusonga yo muguga era mu kibule esikoba mu industry mu sino park agigunyako na sesi nabesebe nafe kumaliza kuti nase nagigunyako musakuru aro mate I now know the reason to why you need umuguga. Era kwama ochina kwa following omusakulu bona kwafuna buguga baba mwanyala naye. Kwaruma kuti baba area MOP wona gunya kwe no kuri minding omusakulu university. Kubanga esonga university baba uchebula memo zefeze sopoliza no musakulu mujasi sako kwatama esonga university. Eranga muchebula nga police bay omusakulu aromati the former district zesikolangiza kuti Lango Bugisu Busoga zosinza kuzwa university so na feyeyo feri kumeza kigana busako mu kibusa kisembayo mwanyana nabi kubanga batesere mu mirembe.
It is important in a sense that the youth are supposed to present their case to the head of state. That's one point, it's very important. Two, the issues I've picked here are equally important. The issue of the youth, education to the youth, skilling of the youth, it's very important. Cooperative movement, which is good, but there's only one thing or a few things which are causing some kind of disagreement. Who is to take up which position and what? But to me, that's minor. The most important thing is to agree. What do we put, say, like in our petition, or if I may put it, what appeal do we make to the president? Once we agree on that, I think it will be okay. And I pray that this time around the president should be able to act on the petition that we are going to present before him. Thank you.
What's your say on the issue of 5 million that the youths are trying to put ahead instead of other issues?
No, I think that's why the youth miss a point. When you put ahead like 5 million, 5 million will not help you much. It will not. Well, those who could be good managers or financial managers may benefit in one way or another. But 5 million is very little money. Let's push forward something which is going to help the entire youth. For instance, the youth who are saying they want to push money, that's going to them as individual. But we should focus at something which is going to help the entire society, the entire region of Bugisu. That kind of thing. If they can come up and say, now look here, we would want short-time skilling. University will take you 3 years. But there are those who have gone beyond the years, maybe which go to university and they are no longer interested. But we can have short skilling centers of maybe 1 month, 2 months. Somebody goes for a short skilling course and he comes up and then he starts what to do, And for instance, I've seen in Kampala, this is skilling for the youth. They train them for a month, 2 months. At the end of the day, they give them startup kits, A girl who has done maybe tailoring ends up going with a sewing machine. So these are the things we should look at, you know. If a youth is saying, look here, I would want to start a business, ask which type of business. Maybe would want to have a computer or whatever, a printer to start his some secretarial bureau. They can provide such things than looking at 5 million, which is not going to help you much.
Any other message to the youth as we get closer?
You see, my message to the youth is that one, they should be patient. I know the youth normally get derailed by a number of things, and you know, let them be patient and let them be organized. Once you get organized and you present a voice as an organized community, that's how they can win. But if you go individually and whatever, you cannot. So let's go as a youth, together as youth. We voice one thing out. Once we voice one thing out as youth, I think the president will say, these guys are united around a common problem. So it should be able to be addressed.
Lina cooperative gye balese osuubira baba bagikutte bulungi nga mzee agitaddemu esente esolo basitula.
Esolo basitula singa bana bantu abawuliriza ate ne batwala ebyo bye bawuliriza. Beetaaga okusomesebwa babitwale ate babikozese babiteeke mu nkola. Obubaka bw'enjawulo nkunga abayusi mwenna oba opposition oba si opposition tukkirize enkulaakulana weebeeze ejja n'ebintu bingi. Tukkirize nti politics wanaabanga ze tukole politics n'enkulaakulana bwejja tubeere kyekimu. Kati mwenna mwogere olulimi lumu tusobole okwaniza omukulembeze w'eggwanga ajje atuwe byalina okutuwa lwakuba yena mu nswa. Wanaaba atuwadde byatuwadde tugabane tusigale nga tukola emirimu gyaffe kuba ekikulu mu byonna nti kubeera bulungi. Ate pulezidenti w'eggwanga ayagala tubeere ki? Tubeere bulungi. Ani atayagala okubeera obulungi? Bwe tunaabeera obulungi ne opposition ayinza obutabeerawo.
Osigadde ani mukulu?
Nsigadde Kasajja Musa, Speaker Industrial State Division ate nga incoming Mayor Industrial State Division.
I am Wamala Nambozo Florence, the district representative for Sironko district, but also State Minister Karamoja Affairs. I want to thank God today I've had an opportunity to interact with the youth of Bugisu in their plan to host the president next month on 12th for a youth symposium. The youth of Bugisu have planned that they have a cooperative as an umbrella for the president to support them as he guides them in socio-economic transformation and wealth creation. They think if they have a cooperative as an umbrella, it will be able to help them get out of would be, like he calls it, poverty. However, we have realized that not all of us are on board. Not every youth has bought the idea. So what we are continuing to speak about, to encourage each other, to have more dialogue, to buy in, is to ensure that every youth is brought on board and we have one voice that we are speaking, so that when he comes we do not have a barrage of words to tell him this one is saying that, the other one is saying this way, this one is speaking, others are booing. We want to have one voice. If we say cooperative, can we be speaking one voice? What is a cooperative? What is below the cooperative that the other youth who are not so close in the leadership of the cooperative will benefit from? I've also advised the youth to invite or to bring on board experts in the cooperatives, the language of the cooperatives, to come and speak to them because they know how to do it. Every discipline has got a language. So people who are involved in the cooperatives, in Bugisu we have Bugisu Cooperative Union, and the Honorable Nandala is one of our leaders. So if they can invite him, I've asked them to invite NPA, that is National Planning Authority. Fortunately, we have Honorable Lydia Wanyoto, who is a SEC member, who is part of NPA, to come and speak to our youth prior to the coming of the president, so that we have ideas, the right ideas. When we put before the president a proposal, it will be an informed one. It will be from an empirical point of view, for us to make sense. Otherwise we shall be doing those usual rhetorics and we shall be still reading the book of Lamentations, which we want to come out. We want now the Acts of the Apostles.
It's talked about the 5 million shillings. which the president pledged?
I think that the last time the president was in Bugisu, some youth converged and asked him to give them some water. As today's saying says, it is a slang that means that something for the pocket. And those who are present got 5 million. Unfortunately, some were not around. So the adage goes that whoever is not present does not receive, because those are what the Baganda call kagwirao. So those who are not present are now asking, so how do we get ours? But the president promised that at the opportune time he will give it to them. So we need to go and remind him. But you know, some of these laid promises, we are going to do our best.
Your message to the regional people about the presidential visit?
I'm encouraging every youth, every youth, to come to this symposium, but all NRM-loving people, because everyone in this nation is under the same leadership, NRM. I'm inviting all the youth, indiscriminately, all the youth, this symposium is not partisan. It does not discriminate anyone. Let all the youth come from the ghetto, from the farmers, up in the mountains, from the welders, the taxi drivers, the border riders, all youth of all walks, of all colors. Let's come and listen to what the president is giving to us. Thank you, sir.
I'm Dr. Hanakwa Sarabwayo. I'm happy, first of all, to hear that and to know that the president is coming to Bugisu region. And he's not just coming for anything else but meeting the young people, the youth. Now, we must also appreciate that the youth form 75% of the population of this country. And so dealing with them is the biggest target that any leader can do. Because when you deal with 75% of your population, then you're addressing actually the needs, the entire needs of the country. So listening into them and appreciating what they are going through, but also giving them the opportunity to come on the table and speak with you is the best that any leader can do. So for us, we are excited as the Bugisu region, because Bugisu, always people come from the east, and he knows that he's going to get the best ideas from the young people from the east, because that's where wise people come from.
What are some of the issues which you think have tied our youths into poverty?
We appreciate that the youth, majority of them are poor. In fact, when you look at the statistics, the poor people are largely the youth. And principally, it's because of the lack of opportunities to use our skills, because we know in many developed countries you'll not find all youth in offices or whatever we can call them. They use the skills they get, and I think how we are working as a government, we know that there is a big approach to skilling the youth. Now, when we skill the youth, we want to avoid people coming, finishing universities, then sit and wait for a job, which job appears once, because one job of a cow for a whole district, for example, cannot accommodate all the 2,000 or 20,000 youth that we are channeling out every year. So when we come up with skilling, it means we are actually understanding and appreciating the reason why we have so many youth that are not working. They are not skilled, and now we are going into real skilling, and the youth are able to do everything, anything across the world. So recently there are so many young people, and I saw this example in one of a very remote area in Bukoho up there. Children are coming up with ideas of making manure from their own initiatives, innovation. So that's why we have a ministry of responsible for innovations. Reason being, we can only sustain the growing population of the youth if we address the needs of the youth from creativity and innovations, because that's when we can run along with the world. The world is very creative right now. There is a lot of innovations going on right now. So we cannot sit back as a country and watch our youth not being innovative. So it's the question of why we have so many youth is because we've been in a generation where innovations and creativity have not been at the forefront of any programming. Right now, that's where we are going, and I think that's why the president is coming to remind us that it's all about a world of innovations now, creativity, and he will ask the young people, what do you want to do, or how do you want to proceed? And those are the innovations I think I've been hearing the youth come up with.
And is a cooperative to this region for the youths?
The cooperatives, of course, many of us, of course I'm not a youth, but what I know is many of us have reached where we have reached because of cooperatives. If you can recall what we used to call cooperative societies, where we used to, farmers used to bring their produce, coffee, cotton and all that. It's through that, when you're together, a cooperative helps people to get access to market. When you all come together, you'll get ideas from each other, then you'll also mobilize resources. Because some of the projects within that individuals want to do require some level of capital. But when you're in a cooperative, each of you is contributing to some level. And so that means you're able to come up with a capital that you could have not got as one person. Cooperatives help you to share ideas and also share risk, by the way. You share the risk. When you're in a cooperative, if anything is going to go wrong, you don't suffer with it alone. As a group, you share the risk, so it will not be as hard. So you quickly address the problem and then you continue running. So the cooperatives generally, in economic terms, have been found to be the best way for community development, because you're sharing the proceeds, but also you're sharing the risk. And you're coming together with so many ideas, and that helps you not to work singly. Many business ideas or approaches have been said that any person who gets business singly, normally they don't, they may not survive in a community that is developing. So when you come together, it helps you to share ideas, like I've said, and also share resources, and you're able to run.
Invite them to the symposium.
Yes, the youth out there, opportunity falls once. Guys, my fellow youth, you know what we've been talking about. Come out, even if it means walking on foot, and that day you don't have transport, start walking a day before and sleep even at the church or at a mosque. You will reach. We have always moved from Ombale, from Namisindwa, from anywhere to Namugongo. So you wouldn't want to say you're failing to come and listen to the leader of this country because you didn't have transport. We have always moved to even further places. This is an opportunity for us to hear and listen to what the president is going to tell us, but also importantly, to see how our fellow youth or your fellow youth express themselves to the president and what they are actually asking for you, because you wouldn't want to be told and then you'll say, I wish I was there, I would have told them to say this. Come listen. The youth have organized themselves. They have come up with proposals to the president. You wouldn't want to read them in the newspaper or on radio. Come and watch this live, because it's an opportunity that grows you as a young person, and it also helps you to understand how we interact with different leaders as young people.
Mwenayo mwesiba masaba senye mai Miriam Muhaye wangesi mayushihirira bamayi b'Embale district in parliament ya Uganda kulininga binabinga be Bugisu hubanga president wefe weri nambo Yoweri Kaguta Museveni wafukirisire hushalira ibugisu ngalu hwita hushalira bafubuka irefe nga barangirisi ngeso murangirisi indu musanyufu hubanga yingabi abeho kuchifunatsi kahota kuli kuchifunaho mulundu kuno ne ingabi nga yitsire nga wakuchirambisa bulayi mbaho shesufuna mota ingabi yiyitsire president ali hukana aho meeting nenga huli ni huba likono litwera huli ni huba omundu mutwera huli ni hufukiri sana bindu shina byesi kwitaga hu presentinga mumonitsa president ibu masaba shitwera shikirire kwata kufuna mu government ino kubanga kusalanira nabi buli mundu alolerera shishewe kwala kufuna shishindu shiyeta Bukisuta ate nga kuli ni issues tsingali tsi affecting aba bandu be Bugisu naddala bafoboka ne spirit ya Bugisu Youth Symposium niye butwera ni huba nilikono litwera isi president kale kuli ni kufuna shindu shina shikugata fesinga Bugisu kwashi presenting esi president nole cooperative inyala ya kuyeta huba mu butwera kwafuna kwa esi president then hakurambira awene wonga bafoboka hubone kuri kufukirisana binanu mukarimwo mu byo haterezere hubitereze nga shiri mu burangirizi kutereze burangirizi nga shiri mu membership kujitereze hubone kuri kuba nishindu shese ku presenting esi president Museveni huhwese shikali ne buli mundu nga wasirari sendi hukana siringi sendi hukana kene bahuwe siringi ari kumukamba shinda kuna tamba shesi hukani hashishindi nenga kwasabire shishindu shishina bawo shiyete bafu buhairi mutwera babiri bataruta ne bafu buhabe Bugisu kuna bakwayetire shebuliro ritsi region itsindi zafunire kula shina zifunire ubanga tsabere likono litwera so isengo murangirisi wembale symposium yiyi muhwa kunani hani concept nabibere monabi shitirirwa shabahuhurera atweranga be Bugisu hubone husaba president ahuyetariene rendi hupirisa babandu bose ndi hubi omundu mutwera nga yirolere 12 September hukanike likono litwera hukasalanira ta nabikotserere bamasaba mwanyala.
We've just met and I've given my input that an opportunity to meet the president cannot be cannot be taken for granted, and it's also an opportunity that we also inform the president on what we really need. So today we've been harmonizing our interests. First of all, the core objective of the symposium is lying on two things. One is wealth creation and mindset change. We don't have to move away from the two core objectives of the symposium. And of course, meeting the president gives you a chance to table also your interests. Now that's where we're having issues. Not the interests of the symposium, but now interests of young people of Bugisu. We have a proposal of a cooperative for young people, which already have been given birth. That is Bugisu Youth Development Cooperative. And the idea was we table it before the president. Of course, a cooperative needs funding. The second proposal is the demonstration farm. And the third one, I've been informing them that you can do anything, but issues of mindset change cannot be handled in a single day. So on top of what we are asking, we should also prioritize asking for more retreats, for more trainings, and we have a National Leadership Training Institute. For us young people, we are transitioning into senior politics, and of course you can't go there to try. We want young people to get more opportunities, to be trained, to be taught, to be informed about the country. And I've been informing my colleagues that for those of us who have gotten an opportunity to reach Kyankwanza, it's different. It's different. We can't reason the same way with that one who has never reached there, with all the due respect to all the colleagues. So we have to demand for more opportunities to colleagues also to reach there, so that we also reason at the same pace. We put the country first. That's one. Secondly, they have been putting an issue of placements. That one, me, I have a very selfish reason over it. That you don't have to read the memo for you to catch the eye of the president. If you've been given a chance to be a young leader in any position you've been given, the most important thing is doing the right thing, and you will automatically catch the eye of the president. I got a chance. I was appointed by the president to serve as an assistant analyst. I've never in any single time read the memo. I've always been, in the background in all arrangements of young people.
but I've always informed young people that the issue is very simple. Brand yourself to attract the attention of anyone around you. The challenge we have with us young people is when you're given opportunity, you make sure that you enrich yourself and compete with those other people. The issue is you look for what serves your interests. So now you can't serve yourself and also expect to attract the attention of the appointing authority. So one, I've been informing my colleagues that the issue is not about, because it has also become an issue on who will read the memo. Now, it looked very embarrassing that very senior leaders, we are coming together to discuss a very petty thing. Another issue, apart from the issue of placements, young people we are talking of asking for agricultural input, which is true, that we are an agricultural region. In our region, we survive on agriculture, and we need the support of the president. But most importantly, we said everything, we shall get everything for as long as we are organized. And I prayed that the coming of the president should not divide us. It should be a foundation for us to build the long-lasting unity we've always been asking in the region. So, so far it's so good. The arrangement is okay. We are in high gear. We are mobilizing our colleagues. Only that we've been having an issue of the cooperative, which I asked my colleagues that let it be for the youths, not youth leaders. The cooperative should be for youths of Bugisu. So we must see how to incorporate all young people of Bugisu from Bulambuli to Namisinda, so that even a young person who wakes up each day to hustle must be part of the cooperative. So if we make it a youth leaders cooperative, we should even change the name. If it is on, and that's why we brought in the issue of leadership also, that even leadership of the cooperative should incorporate everyone, all categories of young people. Let's have everybody on board for purposes of acceptability and ownership. Everything survives once it is owned by the bearers. Because if we make it as a cooperative of young leaders, now other categories will also form theirs. We are giving chance to so many cooperatives which are going to be formed. And also, I've been informing them that if we form a cooperative, we shall be presenting it, and the young people will come from villages, will disown us. So that's what I presented. But we are ready to welcome the president on 12th. I thank the Office of National Chairman for giving young people an opportunity to showcase what we've achieved in the last 35 years of the leadership of the NRM as we continue preaching the gospel of wealth creation. Of course, we can't ignore a very fundamental element of mindset change. I am Emma Bwaya, the male youth councillor in the Namisinda district.
Thank you.
Rebecca, female workers councillor, Mbale City.
Abavubuka nga tugenda mu Symposium eno bandibadde batunulira kye nnyo?
Nze ndaba abavubuka bano kye bandibadde batunulira nnyo bandibadde batunulira ebintu okusinga mu agriculture sector, kubanga nsuubira mwe bayinza okufuna omulamwa, kuba agriculture terimba, farming doesn't lie. I'm very sure kuba ndaba mutuufu fine ekyogamba mbu forming society what it's not a problem, but now I see it bringing a lot of kind of troubles. They are not agreeing. Tebali mu kukanya, mulimu abatakikkiriza, mulimu abakikola ki abakikkiriza. Ng'ate oba oli awo bwe bandibadde bagamba for instance nti kaakati katukirete mu mbeera nti maybe like for instance Ronco district mulimu abalimi b'obutungulu, mulimu abalimi b'obumonde, ne bakireeta mu mbeera eyo nti kati katudde mu agriculture abe Sironko tusabe kino, abe like Bududa nti kati ffe tuli mu matooke na kino, at least ndaba kyandibadde kikola kibazimba, kyandibadde kibongerako okukulaakulana.
Ko nga abavubuka nga 12.
Banange bavubuka mwenna gye muli mbakunga nga 12. Mukeere nnyo mu bitiibwa byammwe byonna, mwenna abavubuka ba Bugisu sub-region gye muli yonna, oba oli Kampala oba oli wa, jumbira olunaku lwa 12 tubalinze, ffe ba senior youth baba baganda bammwe tubeesunga, tubalinze olunaku olwo, twanirize muzeeyi waffe omu bw'ati President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni akulira eggwanga lino Uganda.
Mujja kubeera wa?
Tujja kubeera ku Mbale SS mukama wange.